Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video we're doing a 3 makeup looks with this Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette. So I'm going to be creating 3 looks for you using this brand new palette that I got. So I did 3 different looks. This is the 3rd time I said that, but let's get into the video. So I am doing a halo for this first look. So I'm going to be taking this pretty purple shade and I'm just going to put it in my transition area. So this is also going to be like a little review on what I learned about this palette creating these 3 looks. So just keep this in mind if you wanted to buy this, because I know it is a large investment. It is $67 for this one palette, which is a lot of money. So yeah, so I put this purple shade as a transition shade, and then I'm going in with the like darker berry shade in my crease, so I can just deepen it up and add a little bit more definition. I will say that these shades are a little bit just like 10% out of 100 hard to blend because they are very powdery. I don't know if it's bad, but they are very pigmented, but I just feel like I had a hard time blending them together. So I am still going in with the dark plum berry shade. I forgot what it's called. So I am just blending that into the last purple shade in the transition area. And now I'm going to blend them together and make them look seamless by putting that transition shade over the top of this darker shade. I also feel like when I put these shadows on, like especially the lighter shades, they do come on and blend together like a little bit more ashy than I think that they'll look when I put them on top of a different shade. But now I'm using the dark purple. I think this is like one of the darkest shades in the palette. When I was creating these looks, I realized that like all of the shades are really light. And there's only like a couple dark like transition shades, but I'm taking this dark purple and I'm putting it basically on the outer corner of my eye, and I'm winging it out just a little bit, and then I'm taking it and dragging the excess across my crease and into the inner corner. So I'm just trying to add a little bit of depth and definition, and I'm just gonna buff the edges out and blend it into the last 2 shades that I put on. So I'm just trying to like blend out the harsh lines, and it took me like a little while. Like I said, when I did put on another shade on top of the shade that I previously put on, it just made it look like a little bit more ashy, instead of like being purple or pink. So I'm just trying to add a little bit more definition and go back in with the purple. I also feel like it did disappear after I put on a different shade. Like, okay, so this shade is like the purple transition shade, and it just came on to my skin looking really gray, and I feel like it just made the deep purple disappear. So I just had to like do that multiple times just to get it where I want it to be. So now I'm putting on the shade Nebula. This is a really pretty like stardust purple gray. I think it has blue reflex in it too, this shade, and it is so pigmented. I feel like they use actual glitter in these shades because there was glitter all over my face. So what I'm doing is I'm just creating like a kind of like a half cut crease. I was being lazy. I didn't put on any concealer, so I just literally just used the shade, and I just created like the shape that I wanted to and just blended it in with the rest of my shadow. And so now I'm taking the Huda Beauty Life Liner, and I thought it was only right. So I am creating a wing with the liner, and I also decided to take the liner and put it on my lower lash line just to make the look pop a little bit more. I think this day was my anniversary date dinner, so that's what I was getting ready for. So I wanted to pop out. So now I'm taking a more purple shimmery shade, and I put it on my lower lash line just to add a little bit more glitter. And then I went ahead and threw on some lashes. So this is my first look with this palette. I really love how it came out. And now we're gonna move on to the second one. So right here, I'm just priming my eyes with my L'Oreal Infallible Concealer, and I'm just blending it out with the Beauty Blender. I usually use like a brush, but I guess I didn't think of it at this point. So now I'm gonna go in with this like orangish peachy shade as a transition shade. So for this look, I wanted to go for like a gradient, just like mixing a whole bunch of colors together, going down like a color pattern toward the lash line. Next, I'm taking the shade Libra, which is a pretty purple color, and I'm just gonna blend that in with the last shade I put on. So I actually like how this blended in with the orange shade, but I do feel like it just got washed out. And while I was blending the two colors together, I feel like they just mixed in with each other, and there was like no distinction between the two colors. Like I wanted you to see that there was orange at the top, and then it blended into purple. But as you can see, when I put the orange on, it just like mixed them together and it looks like one shade. I mean, at one point they all looked completely like just one color, but you'll see. So I'm taking a different shade now, and I'm going in, blending it into the last purple shade. And I don't know if you can tell, but the thing that I was saying about putting them on and then becoming ashy, this is what happened here. So at this point, I was just trying to blend all of the colors together, and I also wanted you to be able to see that there were as many colors as I was putting on, and you can tell the difference, but they all just became like the same color. It was just so hard. So like I was using my regular blending technique. Like I put on one shade, I put on the second shade under it, and then I go back in with the first shade to blend them together, and just make the colors pop a little bit more, because I know that like they do get washed out sometimes when you're trying to blend them. So I was trying to do that, and then all of these colors just meshed together and it just became one weird color. But now I'm going back in with the deep berry shade, and I'm putting this basically on my lid, and then I tried to blend it in with the other shades, and it turned into this. And the second to last shade I'm putting on is this dark purple, and I'm just blending it in with the last shade as well. So this, I'm just concentrating it mostly towards my lash line, and I want to make this area as dark as possible because I'm going to be putting a really light color in the middle, and I wanted a lot of contrast. So this is me trying to blend it in with the last shade. I know I'm complaining a lot, but I actually do like how the look turned out. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my beauty blender, and I'm just gonna create a little. I was again being lazy, and I didn't want to carve out the area that I wanted to use, so I just used my beauty blender and some extra concealer. So I'm going in with this matte teal shade, and I'm just putting it right over where I made the shape of the concealer with the beauty blender, and I am packing this onto my lid because I do not want this fading into any of the other colors, because this is like the staple or like the statement of this look. So I am just like trying my best to pack it on, and then blend it out later. So I tried to pack it on, and try to buff out the edges. So I don't know if you can see, well, I can see, but the little semicircle I made with my beauty blender, it created like a line, so you can actually tell like how and where I cut the crease, or like made my I don't know what I'm saying, but I tried to blend it out and it wasn't really working, so keep that in mind, I guess. So I went ahead and tried to blend all the colors together one last time, and now I'm putting on some liner. This is my Wet n Wild Mega Liner. It's actually pretty dried out, but I wanted to get the best use out of it. And I'm also taking this white shimmer shade and I'm putting on the inner corner and my brow bone. Can you see that? Like, these shades really have like actual glitter in them. Like, I know you see those little specks of glitter, but this is it for the second look. I actually do like how it turned out. It's like a really pretty purple sunset, but I do wish that the colors looked more distinctive. Anyway, we're gonna go on to the last look. So I'm going ahead and priming my eye with my Instant Age Rewind Concealer by Maybelline. And I'm going to go ahead and take this shade. This is like a pretty pinkish shade. It's like a light berry shade. This is how I want to describe it. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on my transition area. For this look, I am doing a cut crease. So I'm putting this on my transition area. And I'm just blending it out. I'm not doing too much with my crease, so I'm gonna go in with this shade after. I thought this would deepen up my crease, but as you can see, it just made it look more ashy, and it looks lighter than the last shade that I put on, which is not how like defining your crease is supposed to be. So I decided to go in with the deeper berry shade in the palette and deepen up my crease. So now I'm blending those two colors together by putting the first one back on the top and just blending it into the deeper, darker shade. So I do this just to make sure that you can see both colors and they look like seamless. So now I'm taking a concealer brush and I'm going ahead and cutting my crease. So I just put a little bit in the middle, and now I'm just like connecting the beginning of my eye to the middle, and then I'm just creating the wing. Then I'm just filling in the rest of my eyelid, and I'm creating the shape of the cut crease that I want. So for this look, I wanted to create like a gradient of shimmer colors on my crease, like on my lid. So I used pretty much most of these shimmer shades. So I put the first shimmer shade was the white one. Then I went in with the pink one. I wanted to create like a light, like white, pink, like gold to purple, but the white and the pink look exactly the same and you can't even tell the difference. Then I went in with this pretty gold shade, and now I'm going in with like a rose gold copper toned shade. And I feel like you can just tell that there's like maybe 3 colors on my lid, but you like honestly I put like 5 or 6 shades. So I guess the last shade that I'm putting on is this purple shimmer shade, and this is the outer corner of my eye. So I'm trying to create the wing with this, and I used a brush and I feel like it wasn't really showing up, like the pigment and the shimmer shade. Like I really had to try and like scrape it onto my face and just press it and pack it on, and then I just gave up with that. So I mean, this is like the 3rd time I'm applying it to the outer corner, and it just isn't showing up, like not as much as I thought it was gonna be. Now I'm just dusting away the fallout, but look at all this glitter on my face, like it's crazy. So I went ahead and put on some liner and lashes, and now I'm gonna just do the bottom lash line. So I'm going in with the shade Libra, which is the bright purple shade, and I'm just running that under my lash line. And I decided to take the teal shimmer shade and just pop that on my lower lash line just to create some contrast. So this is the final look. I did also go ahead and highlight my brow bone with some glitter. So I do like how this came out. I just wish that the colors were how I wanted them to be. I feel like I did a lot of work and it doesn't really show. So this is just some things to keep in mind if you guys want to buy this palette. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!